bias of estimates or response rates. However, a cost-effective survey design requires an approach that integrates all the main aspects of both survey errors and costs. Therefore, our goal was to identify the recruitment strategy that yields the optimal balance between costs and survey errors. To address this, we conducted experiments with different incentive strategies. So next slide, please. And another one. So these experiments were conducted within the 1K panel. This is actually the first probability-based web panel in Slovenia after the pilot Kronos panel. It was launched in 2022 at the Center for Social Informatics at the University of Ljubljana and currently has around 3,400 panelists. So next slide. It's a web-only panel where confirmed panelists receive an unconditional €5 gift card. The respondents receive postal mail invitations with 2 reminders, and the panelists who provided their email addresses receive mail invitation plus 3 email reminders. As for the response rates, recruitment surveys typically see rates between 30 and 40%, but they can surpass 50 for young participants. For panel surveys, the response rate range from 70 to 90 for invited panelists, with an overall response of around 17 after a year and 16 after 2 years. So now I will present the methodological experiment that was conducted in June 2024 during the largest recruitment wave. So this experiment involved 7,000 units, which were divided into 8 incentive groups, as we'll see on the next slide. The groups included various combinations: no incentive, conditional versus unconditional, 5 versus €10, and DM versus Mercator. So DM is a retail chain popular in the Central Europe, known for cosmetics and health products, while Mercator is a Slovenian grocery store. As we can see, the group with €5 unconditional plus €10 conditional incentives, along with the group with €10 DM unconditional, received the highest response rates, but also had very high costs. The no incentive group, as expected, had the lowest response rate, but it also had the lowest cost. As expected, unconditional incentives had much higher response rates compared to conditional. Also, the 10 versus €5 had a relatively low effect on the response rates. What's also interesting is that DM was 4 percentage points more popular than Mercator, which, however, had the highest cost. So next slide, please. But our goal was to optimize the product of survey costs and survey errors. And to do this, we calculated the cost per unit of accuracy, the CUA, where accuracy is measured by the mean squared error, which is the product of variance and squared bias. Next slide. To calculate the biases, 1K panel estimates were compared to true population values from official databases, such as Statistical Office, and also traditional probability surveys. After that, the CUA was calculated for 157 variables. So for each variable, we assigned ranks from 1 to 5 to the incentive groups. The group with the best, so the lowest CUA, received rank 1, the second best rank 2, and so on. We then calculated the average CUA ranks for each topic, for example, voting variables. And finally, the total average, which is the average of all the topic averages, was calculated. The winning group was then determined by the lowest total average. So on the next slide, we can see the results. So rankings from 1, which is the best, to 8, which is the least effective. The incentive groups are already ranked from the best to the least effective overall. But as you can see, the results vary by topic. However, 5 years DM unconditional is the overall winner with the lowest average CUA rank, 3.8. And it also has the most wins in specific topics, 6 in total, including digital certificate, unweighted demographics, and so on. The no incentive group comes very close to the first with 3.9 average rank, although it didn't win any specific topics. The third group is then 5 euros DM unconditional plus 5 euros DM conditional, and it's very close behind with 4 wins. Interestingly, the groups with the highest response rates were only 6th and 7th. The 5 euros conditional group ranked last. However, the average ranks between the groups aren't that far apart. For example, the first group has a rank of 3.8 and the second one 3.9, and there is only a 1.4 point difference between the first and the last group's rank. So the next slide. Based on our findings, the best recruitment strategy is the unconditional 5 euros gift card, followed by the no incentive group. And a key point is that the winner, according to the integrated cost error criterion, is different from the winners based on the partial criterion. Next slide, please. We also calculated the total average CUA ranks, ignoring the topics. The winner here is still 5 euros unconditional DM card, followed by the no-incentive group. We also conducted a preliminary experiment during the first recruitment wave, and we found similar results with the same winner by topics. However, we learned that the differences between the total average ranks among the groups are relatively small, and that the results largely depend on the topic. But interestingly, the winning strategy by topic also had most wins across specific topics. So before we conclude, I would like to indicate some possible limitations and applications of our findings. One limitation could be the applicability of our results for decision makers, whose primary focus may still be response rates or costs, independently of the CUA. Our approach may be especially valuable for projects with a smaller budget, as larger budget projects might not need to consider cost as closely. And this approach can also assist in determining the optimal number of follow-up contacts. For example, if one reminder is enough accurate for a cost-effective design. So this is it. Thank you.